Hey everyone, Connor here with Q&A number 1. So it's a beautiful day outside. In the last video I said, leave your questions and I'll answer them. So this was what this video is all about. It's all about getting to know me a little bit more. The first question I got was in regards to my mental health, being alone on back roads. So it is a bit lonely out here. That's the truth. Doing this trail as a solo traveler definitely presents some challenges. How I combat that is I schedule social events. I think someone commented that I was on Liz Kidder's video doing trail magic on the Pacific Crest Trail. That was an event I did about halfway through this trip, and it's something that gave me a reset. It's a social outing. It also involves camping. So I schedule social events to help me through being alone on the road. That's how I deal with it. The other question, there was a couple more questions about what it's like having a reduced bed length in the cab, being confined to my cab. That's challenging. So it definitely is challenging. A van would be a lot easier, but I do make it work. And I have the freedom to do the harder trails in Colorado and in Utah, so I like having that. So the other question was in regards if I'm meeting other people out here. I do occasionally run into people. I've run into a couple of motorcycle riders from West Virginia, but I sparingly meet people out here. It's not a very popular trail, so it's not. I wouldn't call it a social trail or that aspect. It's more of an endurance trail where you're just trying to put on the miles and accomplish the trail. So it's not per se a social trail or trip. Next question was about the best wildlife encounter that I've had. That's 100% the fawn rescue. I found a baby fawn in the middle of the road and I rescued it, moved it to the side of the road. Really cool opportunity to help out a fawn. Really loved that. It was once in a lifetime. I'll never forget it. Someone asked about my tires. I'm running the BFG KO2 tires and would I recommend them? I think they are a good tire. I do not think that they are a great tire. I've had a sidewall failure, which you'll see in a later video of mine, but overall they're a good tire, not a great tire. They were good the first 10,000 miles and then they fell out of balance. It could have just been, luck of the draw. I know a lot of people like the BFG tires, but that's just been my experience with them. So I will be getting a new set of tires actually about halfway through the trip, just because I had to replace them. I had a couple flats and just didn't feel like patching them when they almost had 40,000 miles on them. Next question is, if you could hike or camp anywhere in the world, where would it be? So for that, it's easy. Alaska, 100%. I've always wanted to go to Alaska. I've daydreamed about Alaska. I read Jack London as a kid and just dreamed about going to Alaska. So it's 100% Alaska. Would love to get up there someday. So the next question was regarding how do I afford living in my truck, traveling. So I used to own a condo prior to moving into my truck. I sold the condo. I had some equity in the condo and I simply am using my savings to travel around and live this way. The next question I got was, what app do I use for directions? Navigation is very important when doing a big trip like this. I use Avenza Maps. It is maybe a less common app. I also use Onyx. I've used Onyx for years. It's a great one. Avenza Maps is more of a basic application. I like that it's free. I can just put in my GPX file for my route, and it's reliable and it works good. It's not fancy like Onyx or some of the other ones, but I really like it. I used it professionally in forestry applications, so I'm familiar with it. So that's partly why I use it. The next question is, when did my interest in four-wheel drive adventures begin? So I basically ever since I could think about trucks, maybe 5-6 years old, honestly. I just My grandpa was into Jeeps, and my dad was into Jeeps. They built old CJs up, and they four-wheeled them all around California. And I've always had that in my blood. It's always been in my blood. In high school, me and my buddies would take like Jeep Cherokees and tear them down in a garage, in a two-car garage, and like completely rebuild them and work on them. I've been doing it for as long as I can remember. So, I started with Jeeps. That's how I got into it, and I've had Fords. I've had old iron. This is my first Toyota actually, so I'm excited to use the platform and learn about the Tacoma. So it's just been fun. I love doing it. Always have loved doing it. Next question is, what did I do as a profession before I started this lifestyle? I was an OHV land steward. That stands for off-highway vehicle. And so I maintained a trail system in northeastern Oregon, the Wyndham-Fraser OHV area. It was my dream job, and I loved the people I worked with. I was also a part-time wildland firefighter, so I would help with fighting fires on the weekends. And if the fire season got really bad, I would basically just do fire the whole time. So that's what I did before I sold my place and moved into my truck. And the last question is, what is my favorite beer? So I have been known to like IPAs, but honestly my favorite beer has nothing to do with the taste or flavor. It's just nostalgia, and then that's Rainier, because I'm from Washington, and that's what I just would drink with my friends. And it's honestly not even about the flavor profile. It's not about anything. It's just a classic beer that we would drink in Washington, that me and my friends would drink, preferably out of a glass bottle. But Rainier is just something. I don't know. It's just, like I say, it's not logical. It's just something I grew up drinking with friends, and it's just one of those beers that it's a cheap beer, but it's also halfway decent, and I kind of like that. And it's from Washington, so I like that about it. So Rainier would be my favorite beer. Thanks everyone for leaving your questions. I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope to do it again soon. So if you wanted, your question didn't get answered, I tried to film this in real time as much as possible. So I actually filmed and edited this video the night before. So basically, I wanted to get all your questions answered as much as I could. But if you posted a question later, it will be on number 2. I'll save your question, and it will be in number 2 Q&A. So hope to do this again sometime. It's a lot of fun, and thanks for all your support. And I will see you guys on the next one, and we are going to be in Utah, so it's going to be a fun one. Connor out.